So my name is Wyatt Bayliss. I grew up in Cardiff, Saskatchewan. At current, I live in Warman, Saskatchewan, with my fiance Peyton, and I am the owner of Supplement King Saskatchewan, and then Supplement King Alberta, Medicine Hat, only Medicine Hat. So me and my business partner Charlie run the franchises. So
Mm.
we've been doing that since about 2021 was our first store.
Okay, and how many do you have now?
10.
10.
10. So yeah, we got 9 in
Wow.
Saskatchewan, and then the Medicine Hat store was actually the original guy for our group.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting when you look back, like how far. It seems like only yesterday I was living in Medicine Hat, but yeah, it was pretty crazy, man. So I used to work health and safety, like when I was like in university, and I kind of edged more to the health and safety side, and actually took on a job like kind of closing out my university career. So I kind of left university, went to this career with like health and safety, working for Tech Energy Corp.
Mm.
So I was working there as like an operations coordinator, and yeah, and then finally I got the promotion to the ops manager there. So I worked there for about 2 years working there, and it was kind of during the COVID. So I kind of giggled because I a lot of people that I talked to, they're like, "Oh, like COVID, like it was very slow, and everything." So I don't say too much because I was very fortunate.
Right.
Our company was the first private COVID testing company in Canada for private like mine sites and things like that. So
Okay.
when COVID hit and this came out, we got quite busy just to ensure that all the mines stayed operational, mainly like gold, the gold mine, diamond, uranium, things like that. So by the end of her, me and the VP were probably looking at quite a bit of sites. There was roughly about 16, and then about 10 that were active at the time, and it was just me and the VP doing quite a bit. So it was a lot of learning curves, but he taught me a lot of like hard work.
Right.
And the guy that I looked up to was like the VP because he was just always on the go. Like I learned that from like real young, just that work ethic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, but after that, I kind of just wasn't really happy there. Like it was a good career, and historically, you want to get a career that you can see long term growth in. That, you can build a family, you can have a little bit of financial freedom. So
Right.
like, this is the way I want to go. This is the way, it's a good path. It's a safe path. And my business partner Charlie, he's actually my father,
Okay.
and yeah, which is crazy. So he called me, man. He called me one night, and it was just funny. We were just chatting, like nothing's going on, and then he just asked, he's like, "Are you like, how do you like working it?" And I was like, it's good. He's like, you happy? I was like, yeah, yeah, like I'm good. He's like, no, like, are you happy? I'm like, no, I'm not really, honestly. Like it was a lot of work, and just it kind of consumed me a lot, and it just wasn't like really my passion. I was choosing a lot of the safe routes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of gave me the option, and he said, back in the day, I wouldn't have trusted you with anything, but you've really grown and shown yourself. So if you're interested in maybe partnering with something, we could look into it. So we looked into a bunch of different kind of retailers as far as supplements go, and the one night Charlie emailed Supplement King, and within about, like, it was probably 6 p.m. Saskatchewan time. So it would have been 9 p.m. like in Nova Scotia. That's where like Supplement King HQ is in Halifax. And Roger King, the owner, at this time they would have been 60 stores wide. Like, reached out to Charlie and texted him and said, "Hey, I'm just putting my kids to bed, but I'll give you a call." And like it was like on Friday night. And that speaks volumes to me for like a guy that busy,
Right.
and we're just randomly reaching out on a whim. And yeah, so we chose to move forward with Supplement King, and we just kind of said, if there's an open store, we'll go. And
Mm.
Medicine Hat was the one.
Wild.
So within 2 months, I packed up, moved from Regina, and moved to Medicine Hat for 2 years, man. Just lived there, dropped everything, and left. So took the chance.
Yeah. So when you moved, did your dad move there too?
Nope,
No. So
nope.
you're kind of like the upfront guy,
Yeah,
and
so
just kind of behind the scenes guy.
he does a lot of the background work for sure, and
Okay.
then I kind of do day-to-day operations for the most
Okay.
part. Like back then, yeah, I would oversee the store and the staff and everything like that, and do the orders and just kind of standard day-to-day retail work
Right.
and everything. But yeah, we were in Medicine Hat for about, like I said, just under 2 years, and then an opportunity came and we moved to a second store to Yorkton.
Mm.
So from there, we through acquisition up to Saskatoon, and then over to Swift Current, up to Saskatoon for 2, and then we went up to PA and then down to Regina and Moose Jaw through acquisition.
Wild.
So
So you have 2 stores here?
yes, 2 stores in Saskatoon.
What about Regina?
Regina, there's 3. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, we got one in
Damn.
Harbor Landing, and then the east, just on Victoria Ave, and then
Right.
Rochdale. So
Right on, man.
yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. We opened up the Prince Albert store, and I really like the community up there. Like I'm a North guy. I like the bush a bit, so
Hmm.
I find myself working in the PA store a lot more than some of the others, just being in Warman too.
Right.
But really good community. But we opened that one up this year, and then about a month later, we took the 4 in Regina Moose Jaw, and then with personal life, with getting engaged and everything, it's been quite the year.
Right.
So
What's what was it like? Like, what's the difference? For like a huge difference just in like the learning, but like from opening that first one to opening your last one.
it's actually funny you say that, because like I look back at the first one, and like I come from, my family comes from the southeast corner of Saskatchewan, right? Carnduff, we're farming oil field. So like retail experience and customer service isn't really in our blood
Right.
historically. So when we got out there, we didn't have a clue what was going on. We just knew some of the supplements, and we knew there was a lot of work to be had, but hey, we're gonna get to it. So it was nerve wracking. We just didn't really know what to um kind of do per se on a day to day. And once we opened, it was like, how do we move forward in a way, right? So we were kind of scrambly, and we were a little nervous and not sure if it was going to fly. And then the most recent one I can kind of go to is like the Prince Albert store, because that was number 6, but it was our brand new opening, and just like I felt it was so simplistic. It was just, it
Mhm.
was easy to go through. And I remember looking back, and I'm like, I remember talking to Charlie the day after it opened. I was like, do you remember Medicine Hat? I'm like, we were pulling our hair out. We were like nervous, not sleeping. And like, this one was fun. It was easy. We were able to, just like cross the T's, dot the I's, and make sure we got out and really like presented to the community the best we possibly could.
Right.
So it came a long way for sure. It's really nice
Yeah.
to see.
You probably have like some pretty solid systems in place now.
Yeah, you can call it that. So,
Uh,
um, actually, the scaling process has been the biggest struggle for sure. It's it we've expanded pretty fast, but the
right.
biggest thing is with Charlie and I is, you know, it's about our mindset around this is it doesn't matter, how deep we are maybe in the hole at times, we're going to make it work, whether we got to stay up for 24 hours, 48 hours during the day, 2 days to get it done. We're going to make it work.
Right.
So that mindset, I think, has really carried us through a lot of like certain struggles of, a quicker expansion per se than historic. So it's been a lot of long hours, but the systems now, we uh we had a boardroom meeting, and probably about 2 full days with my ops team now. So I got a girl in Medicine Hat, um, Regina, and then myself and our ordering manager. We had 2 full days of like, this is how it's going to work. This is how we're going to run. And 24 hours after we took over, gone.
Yeah.
you might as well just threw all that into the garbage. So we do it just fast, but we do region based now. So
Okay.
so yeah.
Yeah, because like that's honestly would be a skill in itself is like learning how to delegate. You know, like how to lead, but like also like trust
Yeah.
and let people operate and like I don't know if you're uh perfectionist or anything like that, but like I feel like a lot of business owners are. So they want to be there,
Yeah.
but it's like but I have to trust them and it's just like
You struggle with that release almost, right?
yeah,
Yeah. No, 100%. And with that, I actually that is definitely one of the biggest things I struggle with is just letting go of some of the tasks that I may not be able to see day to day.
mhm,
Unfortunately, if you want to grow, that's you got to have faith in your people and you got to pick the right
right,
people too, right? But
yeah,
the book that really got me through learning that was actually Jocko Willink.
okay,
It wasn't his extreme ownership book. I did read that one as well, but um, it was like a leadership and manual book, and it talked a lot about, like you say, having trust in your team and just like maneuvering to their strengths and putting them in places that you know they take pride in, not like making them do the tasks that they necessarily don't want to do in a day because that's their role, like so just being flexible with it. Like historically there might be someone who looks after all the inventory, but if I have a guy who only loves ordering and he does it very well, that's all he's going to do. But
right,
then that's one thing that is totally looked after because he knows he likes doing it. He takes passion in it. He's not pulled in six different areas. He can
mhm,
focus on one thing. So when he goes to bed at night, he can wake up in the morning, know exactly what's going on in that section. And that's something that I've been really trying to push towards with our teams. So it's a slow process, of
yeah,
course,
yeah, yeah,
right? But yeah, like the delegation and just having trust is huge.
yeah. I feel like with that many stores, and I guess just like even the um like the age usually of the people who work in supplement stores
Hmm.
is like younger.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
demographic is definitely a little bit younger for
Which
sure.
means probably there's a lot of turnaround, you know?
Yeah,
A lot of people who are like just finding their career or like in and out of school or they're just not like that's not they're doing other things. So it's just like in out in out in out. So
yeah.
how do you manage like the hiring firing like it's like almost like a revolving
It,
door,
it
right?
it really is.
Yeah.
As much as it's very unfortunate when people leave and everything. The one thing that I've really learned in this industry is people come and go, and
Right.
you can't hold grudges, and you got to look forward to people moving on to bigger and better
Right,
things.
exactly.
And
That's
there's been a lot of staff that specifically there's one gentleman in Medicine Hat that I remember, and he was in high school, kind of like me back in the day. He liked to go out with his friends a bit,
mhm.
but now we had our issue, our per se arguments, let's say, and um, disagreements in store from time to time. But now, he's doing great. He's flourishing. He's a fireman. He's just we were just talking about, and he was thinking about applying at full time work by one of our locations down in Yorkton for like fire. And so like it's really great to see
Oh
some of
yeah.
that. But the biggest thing is just taking it with a grain of salt, right? A lot of our staff aren't there forever, and we just got to make sure that we can train them to be adequate members in our store, but then as well take some of those values and use them outside when they leave too.
Right.
So, but as far as like the hiring, it is pretty continuous. But we build a lot of relationships through the stores, from our regulars coming in
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things like that too. So, but it's pretty frequent. It's usually one a week in one of the stores that we're looking for somebody, or
Right.
yeah, or someone's leaving. But
Yeah. Are you so with that many locations, are you So you have regional management,
Hmm.
right? So how often do you like to be at each location?
So if I could, I'd like to be there every quarter
Okay,
to one,
right.
like to every one for a day. But right now, how we have it structured is I have the North region. So
Oh, I see. I see.
we call them like operations managers. So I'm one of the operations managers right now. So I oversee the Saskatoon, Prince Albert locations, and then it's just less to oversee. I can kind of be involved. I can be in each store every single day if I
Mhm.
had to. So it's nice that way. And I have another operations manager that oversees the rural areas, so like the Yorkton, Swift Current, and Medicine Hat. Then I have a girl who, Carla, who works in and lives in Regina, and she looks after the Regina Moose Jaws. So it kind of
Cool.
takes blocks away, and then
Right.
we'll have a roundabout once a week, and just discuss what's going on and any pointers that we can help out with in each party, and just kind of separates it so we're almost only running 3 to 4 stores versus 10.
Right.
So it's a lot more manageable, and you can get a lot more like closer because each of our stores will have basically managers in each location too. So they'll oversee the quote unquote part times is I guess what we would consider them because there's only 12 hours in the day. So we usually got
Yeah,
our
yeah.
full time guy working and is the manager. So,
Cool, man.
but yeah,
It's like a process.
it
That's cool
is,
though.
and you know, a lot of it is cool, especially you know with Supplement King because they give you the opportunity to they give you a lot of resources and assets to you know make sure that your business succeeds, but at the same time, like I've talked to other owners, like it's all about how it works for you, right?
Right.
Like I've seen a lot of other like some successful owners that have completely different systems and routines, but
Right.
it's just the way it works for them, right?
Yeah.
So you just find your niche and what you can
Hmm.
kind of excel in. But the biggest thing I've learned is just got to do it, man.
Yeah.
You just got to risk it, right?
Yeah. So
But
when you did first start, uh, how long? 'Cause I feel one of the things about, and obviously you would know too, business, owning a business and working for one, like is the mindset. You know, it's just like there's so much little things that like working and getting paid every 2 weeks is nice, but doesn't always happen when you own a business.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and like little things like that. Um, how long did it take you to switch over from like an employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset?
Honestly, I it's kind of interesting to say. I think deep down I've always had more of like an entrepreneurial mindset. You know, when I was working at Haztech, I was always, you know, when like I guess reverting back to like high school, me and like one of my good buddies, Kirkland, would always talk about, you know, what we're gonna try and do in life and like things that we're gonna try and like accomplish and you know, our dreams and aspirations and
Mm-hmm.
stand just things you talk about with your best buddy, right? But you know, it always stuck with me throughout university, even during my party days and everything. It was always in the back of my head that, you know, I just I can do something bigger with my life in a sense
Right.
where like I felt like and it wasn't like it's just one of those things where I was like that's not for me. Like I think I can go bigger in a sense, you know, and maybe it was ego, maybe it was just you know that mindset, but yeah, like right when I kind of left Haztech, I actually went back home because we got a bison farm too. So we got about 80 head of bison back home in the southeast corner that Charlie also looks after.
Okay.
So I went and helped him for 2 months in the summer there with them, and that's kind of was the big one that was mainly the realization that it's like my own decisions and like finally like I can do what I need to do and make the calls that I want to do. And I've learned from, you know, what to do and I've seen what maybe not to do in ownership and leadership. So
Right.
the biggest thing is I just go day to day and try and make sure that, you know, I can offer as much help and availability to my staff. In the end, we're basically like I consider myself not as high as standard, but almost like the prime minister, where I am here to help the people. I'm
Right,
not the
right, right.
boss. I'm here to help you guys, and whatever you need, like I'm going to try and find a way to make it easier for you.
Yeah,
Because in the end, you guys are the people on the ground that are going to help our business succeed. So I got to give you the resources, right?
that's good, man.
So
Like leading from the front, right?
for sure, for
Or
sure.
I feel like I feel like there's two kinds of leaders. There's one, and it's like a dictator, you know,
Yeah,
that's just like do what I say. And then there's like a servant leader,
mm,
you know, they lead but they serve as well, you
right.
know, like they're there to serve you. Um, that's you know, have you heard of John Maxwell?
I've heard of the name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like a leadership guru, I guess. Like he got really big from he would go into companies and just like revamp the leadership in the company
Okay. Yeah.
and help it that way.
Gotcha.
And then he got really, really popular, and that's what he talks about a lot is being a servant leader.
Really.
And you should check him out. He's just
Yeah.
like
Well. Yeah.
this older guy, and he's just like whenever he's talking on stage, he's just like sitting, and he's just like, my name's John, and I'm your friend."
Just super casual.
Yeah, he's so cool. I've actually went to 3 or 4 of his conferences,
Oh, really
and
nice. Yeah.
he has like a lot of he has maybe like probably has like 50, 60 books on leadership,
Really.
and
Hey.
it's really good. He's but I feel like not that we know each other that well or for that long, but like what I know of you is you're quite hands on. You know, you're trying to help, you're trying to be there, you're trying to, you know, I feel like we work with lots of businesses,
Mhm.
and lots of businesses I've never met the owner, you know?
Fair enough. Yeah.
So it's just like it's good to see that, you know.
Hey, yeah, I really appreciate that. And, I think it stems down from just coming from like a small town as well.
Right.
Everybody knows everybody, and that's just kind of the mentality that we've always had. And yeah, like it's just something that makes me happy too, right? Like I like coming in and talking with you guys, and like it it makes me feel good when we can lend a helping hand, whether it be just staying late to help, like post event, staying late to clean up the chairs and just help out a little
Mhm.
bit, right? It goes a long ways, but it also makes you feel good too. So it's just it's fun to be around, right? And
Yeah.
the industry that I'm in specifically, I mean, you ask my fiance, she might say a little different, but I don't work a day in my life anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's where you revert back to that like mindset of entrepreneurship to, working for somebody. I probably put in more hours now than I ever have, but it
Right.
sure doesn't feel like it when I look back of like what I used to do working, for a company. Nowadays, like working from, a 12, 14, 16-hour day doesn't feel like it would when you're getting paid by the hour,
Hmm.
right? So,
Yeah, it's it's cool because you know, even like when I look at what some of the things I have my hands in and the things that I'm doing, a lot of it was things I was already doing, but now I just get paid for it.
there you
You
go.
know, like I was already boxing,
Yeah.
you know? Now I'm just boxing and getting paid for it. You know, I was already doing these things. I was already going out all the time, except for now I'm going to networking events. I'm going to conferences. I'm going instead of the colonial,
Yeah.
you know?
There you go. Yeah.
So it's just like, you know, if you can kind of just switch it and just like the things you're already doing, if you can make some money at it, it makes it not seem like work,
Oh, 100%,
you
right?
know?
Yeah, definitely. Like I've always been a big like supplement head. Like I just like supplements, and I wish I could show you a picture. Like Charlie as well. That's the funny thing is he started working out when he was oh like 45 years old. So never
Okay.
lifted a weight probably until then, and just now like can't go a day without it. But I remember even before when we were both doing our separate things and everything, we would order supplements online together and we'd save all our empty tubs. And one time, like, we took a big picture and we had like all the empty tubs lined up. We were collecting them for no reason. We ended up just throwing them out. But, so it was something that we were always kind of passionate about. So
Okay.
then, same thing. Now we work in supplement stores and
Yeah.
sell supplements.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, was Supplement King kind of random, or if it was like because you were into it?
Like as far as like the industry or like the company.
Not specifically the company, but just yeah, the industry.
Yeah. So like, originally how we got into like fitness and everything, I used to play like hockey and all the sports and such, right? So I was playing hockey and that was kind of the sport that I wanted to like try and go a little bit further in and try and be a little bit more competitive in. So we went to some power skating schools in Regina, and there was this Brent Bobick, and we got talking to him, and I was a very slow skater, let's put it that way. So in hockey, I was usually the grinder and everything. But we got talking to him, and he was talking to my dad about it when I was younger, and he said like he should start weightlifting if he wants to, develop in hockey. And this was when I was maybe 14, 15 years old. And at that point, he recommended this Tony Burko in Regina, who was working at Gold's Gym at the time. And so, yeah, we ended up, I didn't really want to go, but he's like, if you go, I'll do it with you.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, we'll both go. So we ended up going, and there's this big jacked ginger haired beard guy, Tony. Maybe at the time he didn't have a beard because it's been so long now. We became really good friends throughout the years, but and yeah, and he put us through the ringer every single day, and we ended up really loving it. And to later in turn, Tony started a gym called Heavy Gym in Regina, and Charlie trains there religiously. I go there when I'm in Regina.
Still today, still open.
Still to this day, it's
Nice,
kind of more of a personal training gym.
cool.
And yeah, we've always been passionate about like supplements since we've kind of started with Tony at
Okay.
Gold's Gym. So, and yeah, it's pretty crazy, but we didn't grow up with like gyms and everything. Our gym in Cardiff was a garage called the Sweatshop, and it was
Nice.
basically one like Bowflex thing with like a bench on one side and a lat pull down on the other.
Nice.
So we weren't experienced in the gym culture or anything like that, but it's sure been an experience to get to know, and it sure helps with like just being physically more healthy and mentally too, right? Because when you're always going or you're always around it at work, you know, I
Right.
used to find when back in the day I'd have a really good stretch of eating clean, exercising, hitting all my steps, and just generally being healthy, and then work would kind of come first, and then you're doing stuff. Say for me, I was doing paperwork and book work at a desk, sitting for long hours at a time, and then I would be starting to get takeout.
Hmm.
But in this industry, I'm always around people who are striving to be better and striving to
Right.
be healthier and everything. So it's almost motivation in itself for you too. So it's a pretty unique industry to be in for sure, but never regret it.
Yeah. Do you think if your dad didn't make that call to you, you would
I'd
be a
still be at
business
House
owner?
Tech.
You think
100%.
so? Yeah.
100% I would be.
Wild, eh?
Yeah, it is. It actually, it's very crazy to think um, that basically that phone call changed everything. Because yeah, I would have been still there, still in Regina, working, living there, at least. So yeah, yeah,
That,
that was
that's amazing, man.
that was
That's
the
like it's cool to have family like that.
yeah, for sure. And it was great. Like when I was younger, like my mom's a teacher, so she and now like it's been awesome. So she was a teacher, and then she kind of wouldn't say retired, but then became she always makes a joke. She's like, now I'm a pothead. And I'm like, oh, really? And she's a potter, so she does pottery and everything.
Okay.
So she used to teach classes for a year or two and sell pottery. And then when we started Supplement King and everything, she decided to go back to school, and she got her master's in Indigenous Studies, and then actually she's just in the middle of taking her doctorate right now, and she works
Mhm.
at the university and the on the Indigenous side.
Cool.
So she's there full time now. So it's really cool that
Wow.
you know it makes you think where she's not old by any means, mom. You're not old by any means, but at that age to completely change career paths, and now like
Right.
I was like, wow, like it's very inspiring to like see at that age, like anything is it still shows that anything is possible, no matter how far you are down the rabbit hole or how deep you are into another job. There's other careers, if they make you genuinely happy, you can do them,
Right.
right? So it's really cool to see and see her do that every day. So
Yeah, man, you have a cool family.
yeah, it's they're unique for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just us three. So I got no brothers or sisters.
Okay.
So
So, what does she teach?
so right now I couldn't quite say
Okay.
because I think she does like more in the admin work right now,
Oh, I see. I see.
and then
Okay.
while she's taking like her doctorate,
Right.
so she has more classes because she's kind of juggling both.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so
And you have an indigenous background.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we do. So I'm a quarter. So our heritage is Big Eagles. So we're actually from Ocean Man, just
Okay.
down in kind of by Stoughton area. So yeah, up until this year, actually, we I know I got blue
I
eyes.
know.
I know you yeah, you look.
The first time
You
when you were telling me that, I was like, hmm.
yeah. So we actually got quite a bit of history around our family. My great auntie Laurel was actually the second ever female chief in Canada,
Wow.
and then my uh, oh, I do apologize. They're having a little bit of a brain burp. Oh, my aunt Connie. For the last say 10 years, she's been the chief of Ocean Man up until this year. So we yeah, we definitely on my mom's side we're we're pretty engulfed in the culture, which is really nice. So mom
Yes.
is slowly like teaching me a little bit more. She's got a book for me to read and everything right now,
Cool.
braiding sweetgrass. So
Nice.
I like it. It's nice to learn a little bit more about the culture and everything, and
Hmm.
just hear hear more stories and everything, just to learn a little bit more. Because back in the day, you know, I didn't learn a lot per se, and we weren't necessarily in that culture for a lot of my childhood. So it's really nice to kind of reconnect and rekindle that pastime.
Yeah. It's super because I'm in the same boat. I didn't grow up. It wasn't until after high school that I started learning,
Mhm.
and it's like it's so there's so much, like there's so much to learn.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to learn I'm trying to learn the language. I'm trying to learn like how to understand syllabics and even just like ceremony protocols and things like that. But man, there's so much and like yeah, it's just like a slow and like it's not like I'm out there every day, it's just like
Well, and a lot of like the knowledge and everything, it's not just on Wikipedia or
it's
like
not
on Google. You can go and research it, right? Like
no,
it's a lot of, you got to be there with the elders, learning, hearing
yeah,
the stories, taking it in, because a lot it's not on paper.
it's not written.
Yeah, right.
And
So,
they it's I went to a sweat maybe three weeks ago and the elders there that's what they were talking about. Like the stuff that is written down,
mhm.
half of it is not even right
Really,
anyways,
yeah,
and it's just like and that's what they were explaining. Like you just have to come out and learn.
yeah.
Come out and be around it, learn, because a lot of the stuff isn't correct anyways.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And
Right.
it's
And
just like
it's, yeah, no, I agree. And that's where it's, it's one of those things that it is, it's almost sad that, as the world progresses, like some of that is getting lost. So,
Yeah.
it really makes you think, but it, yeah, it's,
It's interesting because what they were talking about too was how it's like whatever, okay, that's what they're saying. Whatever country you go to, or anyone who is from a country, let's say you're German or you're Ukrainian, you go back to that country, you can learn your language.
right.
And you were saying, except for us. But everywhere else, it's like if you wanted to learn your language, if you're Japanese, you go back to Japan. You can learn your language there, but you can't here. It's like, where can you even learn your language? It's
Yeah.
like not taught anywhere. It's not in the school. Like it is, but just not like
Oh,
it's not mandatory. It's not like
no,
most even indigenous people don't speak their language. It's
no.
like so here we don't do that. But everywhere else, like if
Yeah.
you want to know your ancestors' language, you can go back to your home country, your homeland, and learn it. Except for here.
Oh, 100%. And it's been, like per se, like buried so deep that, everyone will it's just English and French,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah,
there is an original, you
yeah.
know, language, and there's multiple different ones, right? Not just one sole one, but
Right.
yeah, the general population outside of Canada wouldn't know that. As far as what I see, I feel it's just been buried so deep that, a lot of it is lost.
Hmm.
But yeah.
I was okay. To get back onto supplements.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
um.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing about uh this industry
Mhm.
is for one, it changes fast. For two, there's a lot of phony information out there. So like, how do you juggle that as an industry? Like I feel like there's a lot of like trending things, like things that are trending, and then there's like the things that always work.
Yeah, it is very touch and go. Thankfully I'm not a part of the clothing community or
Yeah, yeah,
or,
yeah.
or there, but it does change very fast. And thankfully I have some really great relationships with some of our vendors that, give me a little bit of a heads up when new product are coming in, potentially to give me time to run, various sell throughs to see if that brand or per se like area of product is selling well. But
Mm,
yeah, with the culture, it's definitely every day is a new day,
mm-hmm.
right? So you just got to keep adjusting, and thankfully, the best part about kind of what we're talking about with the younger demographic working at some of the stores, they're a lot more hipper than I am and a lot
Yeah,
more
yeah.
mainstream. So I can keep up to date,
Okay.
leaning on some of those young bucks a little bit more on the current trends on social media. Because nowadays, like even from I remember in 2021 when I first started in Medicine Hat, like do not go back to those videos in Medicine Hat Supplement King and see me talk. And they're a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
they're rough. So if you ever want to see my original speaking videos, those ones they're there. Um, but social media, even back in 21, it wasn't that like it was important, but it wasn't leaned upon. Where now I feel like it is such a business tool that you can utilize and communicate through and reach
Mm,
clientele with. So just finding the changes and the trends with that is big too, right? So I feel like social media has come a long way in our industry in the last just 4 years,
right.
which I mean, so is technology in the last
Yeah, yeah.
four, but
And in the next four, it's gonna be even wilder.
yeah.
So with being a franchise, Supplement King, do they have, I guess, their own, I don't know what to call it, but like, I guess people that help you guys too? Like they reach down and be like, this is what we've noticed. Maybe you should try this. Maybe you should try that. This has been working. This hasn't. Or is it?
So they do offer like really great support. And the nice thing is it's not a lot a lot of the team we've been talking to the same people since day one.
Right.
So they have grown in operations, but it's nice to be able to have that relationship with the same people in the same directions in the areas that we want to talk to them about.
Mm.
So it can grow that way, which it's almost feels like a mom and pop
Right. Right.
head office to an extent, right? Where it's the same four people we've talked to since day one, and they've went from, Medicine Hat was store 65, and I think they just opened up 129. I, I believe. So, to double store growth and still talk to the same core people is really nice to see. But they do give us a lot of the power to be our own ownership groups and
Mm.
kind of make our own decisions, do our own. We do all of our own ordering, all of our own promotions, community outreach.
Right.
But
Like
they,
building your own culture kind of thing.
yeah, yeah, and then we have our guidelines, of course, but they really give us the power to be our own, like do our own thing as long as we stay, within the supplement king guidelines, which are very acceptable. Let's put it that way, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't carry product that you can't,
Right.
and
Right.
things like
Yeah.
that, right? Like just simple stuff where you're like, yeah, of course, like we would, but it's really nice that way. And then they offer the support, but they don't per se micromanage to be like, hey, like
I see.
you're struggling here, we're gonna come in and help you. But they offer that helping hand if we need them and
Mm.
everything. So it's really nice that way, right? So
Do you find that like when it comes to culture, that you have a solid culture among the 10 stores, or do you feel like depending on location, the culture has to be a little bit different?
definitely a little bit different place to place. The demographic does vary. So
Right.
like we tend to have what do I say? Like our marketing is definitely pertaining to a different demographic per se in various like areas. So but for the most part in Saskatchewan, they're all very similar.
Right.
But like our culture does differ per se. Like we're in other words, though, I mean, I go back and forth on this because I'm like, well, it does differ, but for the most part, every single store still number one goal is community driven customer service.
Hmm.
Those are our two main focal points. So, in a sense, we are the same, but as far as our social media marketing and things like that, we kind of order different store to store, of course.
Okay.
But yeah, so
So for when you say community driven, like what does that look like to
just
you?
just being like an influential member in the community per se. So like being that business that people look towards, that they can say like they do their part in the community. Almost like an you earned your spot to be a part of this community
Right.
where we look out for one another. I always think back to like living in Carn. If I could just 1,200 people,
Yeah.
there's nobody there. Everyone knows everyone. So like that's what I feel like our community should be too. And you know coming into someone else's community, you got to earn that trust and earn that with people to be able to trust you to offer them the correct products coming into the store and everything, because they're going to be spending money, their money at your store, so you want to make sure that they trust you and they feel valued. So in the end, it's just making sure that we earn the respect of the community and make sure we lend the helping hand and go out to those like events and just hand out samples, or just
Yeah.
go out and be a part of it and everything like that. Which actually before that, I guess I can share what we're kind of doing, a cool thing in Prince Albert, like DJ McGrath.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's the
DJ,
man.
yeah, DJ and I are going up to PA to hang out with the Mintos for a day,
Okay.
just to go chat, hand out samples, and just gel with the team and just kind of be a part of it and everything. So it's going to be fun. We're doing it later this October. So
That's cool.
yeah, it's
Um, how did you connect with DJ?
randomly one day
Okay.
he came in the store and just like asked, and he's like, he does, he's like, yeah, he, Deep, super upfront.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like first time meeting him, told me his story. I'm like, you're originally, wow.
Yeah.
Deej, like, wow, man, feels like I've known you for years already. So we got talking, and you know what? I really, really liked his story. And I was like, I come from a hockey background and seen a lot of guys go down some bad roads. And,
Mm.
and I I think what you're doing is awesome. So like, if there's anything we can do to help, like, and we kind of chatted back and forth, and now we kind of partnered up. So we we get involved in his 3-on-3 tournament and everything, and then
Right.
we kind of do some cross promotion and such to help each other out. So yeah, we've grown pretty close the last little bit. Like, so we chat every few weeks right now. So
Nice.
yeah, it's good.
Well, I was gonna like for somebody who doesn't do that many speaking engagements, you speak very well.
You think so, hey? Oh,
Yeah,
I appreciate that, man.
like you don't say or like very much.
Mhm.
You're pretty like when you talk, your thoughts are
Are there, hey?
yeah, they're well said.
Hey, I
You should
appreciate
do
that.
some speaking
Oh,
engagements.
yeah, I don't know, man. See, the big thing is for me still is like I actually did my first ever. Um, it, it's just my heart gets pumping so bad, I kind of get like stuttery
Mm,
to an extent. Where I've done a couple speaking events, like presentations on supplements and things like that to various gyms. But I recently was out in Kelowna with my cousin, and calls me up 2 months before the wedding. Hey, how's it going? And Jet is, if you know Jet, you would know exactly where I'm going with this. He's like, "What are you doing?" We get talking, and he's sitting in his pool, and Jet's sitting in his pool, calling me at about 10:30 p.m. And yeah, what are you doing? He's like, "Oh, I'm just having a beer and a smoke." I'm like, "In your pool, eh?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Right on, man. Like, love it." And he's like, "So listen, the reason I'm calling you, like, you wanna be the MC at my wedding?" I was like,
mm.
"Chad, that's pretty close, eh?" Like, I was like, it's less than 2 months away. Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." So I went there and did it, but yeah, so that was my first ever larger public speaking event per se. And
How'd you feel?
it was nerve-wracking for sure. Yeah. It was definitely something else, but I was super happy that I got to share the experience with Rachel and Jet,
Hmm.
be there with the family and everything, especially haven't seen a lot of those guys in a while. So it was really good just to connect with everyone, catch up, share some funny jokes, and talk about some pastimes with my cousins, because Jet and Mason were they're my mom's brother's kids. So
Okay.
we were very close because we, being an only child, we hung out a lot with Mason and Jet. They're around the same age as me, so we got very tight. So it was nice to see them again and just be back with the fam. So yeah, tuned it out a bit. There was a little too many Trailer Park Boys references going around, but hey.
Yeah, that's funny. I think or even for I mean like I guess like mentorship.
Mhm.
I feel like you would do really well maybe like being like a mentor, a coach or a business coach or
Oh, you think so?
speaking in
Hey,
that direction.
really? See,
Cuz I think you've done a lot really quickly.
mm,
You've done I think most people would not even take a risk like that but you've built a little small empire, in a pretty short time.
yeah,
uh I think that takes a certain person, a certain mindset, a certain way of thinking, a certain, like there's the actual doing it obviously is part of it too, but I think just like the mental, the mindset, the leadership skills, the delegation skills, like that side
yeah,
of what it takes is where people struggle the most and probably have the least mentorship on.
right.
Because how to do it is like you could go look up how to do anything
Oh, 100%.
now,
How to start a business. So
but it's like that mental side
yeah,
that needs to be taught. Or
definitely, right.
and I
And
think you
and that's the thing is some people don't realize, like, you mess up a lot,
yeah,
like, every time. And there was not too long ago, like, there was a few months where, looking back, like, you grow so much in some of those turmoil months where you look back and you're like, wow, I was a little ugly. But you know,
Yeah.
you just grow from it, right? And nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, and you know, as you meet more and more people, you gain more confidence because you learn that they're
Mhm.
just regular people like you.
Right.
You know, and the difference is just they they want it. They want to take the risks, right? And you know, I've had a little bit of just things that stuck with me throughout the years. You know, as I was growing up, like my Charlie. You know, I will say not because he's just my dad, but I will put him up against anyone for work ethic because he's borderline. From what I knew growing up, he would spend his mornings from about 4 a.m. He'd be in his office in the house until I get home from school. He'd be in there till 7 at night, and then all I heard when I was super young, he would be in the back truck. Sometimes he wouldn't. He would just sleep in the truck and get up and go. And ever since I've known him, working with him, he is not. I don't think he's taken a single day off
Mm.
in 5 years. So I've really, you know, looked up to that and the work ethic and really appreciated that because at the same time, you know, with that guy doing everything that he did, he was still at all my hockey games, still made all like my sports. So like that really hit home for me where, you know, growing up, I was like, okay, work ethic, work really hard and be there for my family and provide for them. And like that's you made it.
Hmm.
Right. So you know, carrying that throughout the years growing up, and just seeing that as like a role model and as an example, and then branching into Haztech, seeing again my superior Cody, same kind of guy. Just I get emails from him at 1 in the morning, and like he's got 2 kids, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll put my kids to bed, and then I'll go back and rip emails." I'm like, I'm an 18-year-old kid at this time, thinking like that's nuts.
Yeah.
Like, how can you do that? And then when I left, it's funny, the owner, Sean, and this is it's kind of funny, but he looked at me when I left. He's like, "One thing you gotta know," he's like, "You gotta have the balls." And that's what he said to me, and that was it. And for some reason, it's always stuck with me, and that was the expression we said when we took the Regina stores through acquisition. It was like, "All right, we gotta do it." And so it was kind of funny, but yeah, so in a sense I've kind of always been around that work ethic and
Hmm.
everything, and it's really pushed to try and be like that. So
Yeah.
just a good leadership group around to really learn off of and everything. But as far as me, I got a lot of learning to do still for sure.
Yeah.
But and even with speaking, you know, I always giggle because speaking now in public and speaking with customers on a day to day comes very natural and organic and fun
Right.
to me. Where when I was younger, I'd hide behind my parents. Well, Kevin Spencer would talk to me at the grocery store. I see that guy every single day, right? Because I was just very antisocial, didn't really want to get out, but getting out of your comfort zone consistently and day over day and not like large moves, but just talking to a new person or like going out of your way to you know, get outside your comfort zone for even just a few minutes just to feel it.
Mm.
And, you know, as you grow and as you go and get larger and larger now, you're speaking on podcasts or you're, you know, doing presentations in front of various people or emceeing a wedding, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very unique. But biggest thing is just like you say, pushing yourself.
Yeah. I think probably one of the topics that gets spoken the most about on my podcast is like that, like that resilience, like to be able to fail and move forward.
Yeah.
Because I think like that is what makes or breaks people, is just like not taking that failure personally.
Oh, 100%.
And that's like the make or break, is like everyone, the people that I've had on this podcast, from like Warrior Mentality, Nietzsche Gear, all these business owners to like athletes, to they all have a very healthy relationship with failure.
Mhm.
It's just like something that happens. It's just like you're gonna fail often, and you just learn, you get up, you keep going, and then you slowly get better.
100%. Yeah, that's what it is. And you know, you look at those failures as places to improve. And
Right.
you know, as long as you're not redoing those
Yeah.
failures, then you're going in the right direction, right? And it is tough. It is challenging some days, and um I might butcher, but I know I do I watch like various videos on um just people talking about like their thought processes and like how they push through various, aspects. And like Kevin Hart said it really well the one day, mentioning like the hardest thing to do is like an entrepreneur is waking up and giving it your all every single day, and that next day you're being in the same spot you were yesterday.
Mm,
Just every day is the grind, and some days, you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to keep your head down and know that the process is going to work. You just got to believe in yourself, and so, and that's where some people, I feel, when they get to that point and when the tunnel is slowly getting smaller, they don't they want to turn around,
yeah.
right? And yeah, so it is tough, and especially nowadays with the way of the world, right? You can look up anything you please, and you'll find something bad about it or
Hmm.
good about it. And the sway that it can percept your mind to think totally different than what you were just thinking 5 minutes ago on your
Yeah.
dreams, or and it's now they say like, don't some people like don't share your dreams with people, because like certain people, because they'll just put you down about it. But now you have it in your pocket every day,
Yeah.
everywhere you go. And it's sometimes a little discouraging when you see social media and some kids, 18-year-old kids making millions, and you're grinding. And sometimes you're like, geez, like, are you doing something wrong? You
Not
know?
even 18, man. There's 7-year-olds who just open toys and play with them on YouTube, and they're millionaires.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're just going back to work every day.
Oh, I know. So, a lot of that can probably play into, you know, being a little bit scared to take that jump and
Yeah.
such, because the showcasing success is so mainstream now that
Hmm.
everyone can see it, and it does. The more you scroll, the deeper you get into it, right?
I, f- I think like because there is so much negative, like you no matter what you do or try and do, you can find people saying why not to do it,
Yeah.
or why it doesn't work, or why it's phony or whatever. But like those people probably say that about everything. you
Yeah.
know?
No.
Like y- you got to find the people that are doing it
Yeah.
and talk to those people. Don't get advice from people who aren't doing it.
Oh, 100%. And find people that you want to be,
Right.
right? Like
Yes.
surround yourself with people that like you want to be, that you strive to get to that level, or because they're only going to teach you, right?
Hmm.
Because yeah, 100%. And a lot of people will see, um it's like, oh man, a little bit of a brain fart there, eh?
No, it's good. It's
But moving on.
no, I well, even just to add on to that, because I for me personally, I have different mentors in my life.
Yeah.
For business, for my marriage, for finance. Like I have all these people I look towards, but each of them have what I want,
Right.
you know? And I think what happens a lot of times is people go to what's close and convenient. They go to their family and friends who might not be living the way they want to be living. So those are not the people you ask, It's
100%.
like the people I ask for marriage advice are people that have had a strong marriage for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's who I ask advice. I don't just because your favorite cousin who's been single for 10 years,
Yeah, you're gonna go
that person
ask.
doesn't have the advice you need,
Yeah.
even though you love them,
No.
just because they're close and convenient. And I think that's where people just need to do a little bit of work, like finance, even like something like finances. It's like find somebody who has the finances you want
Yeah.
and ask them how they did it.
Oh,
How do they
100%.
manage their money? Don't, you know, even though you love your parents, they might not have the finances you want,
Yeah,
you
definitely.
know?
No, I 100%, man. And I think that's like, it ties all around to like just the way the world is now, as far as like I was actually just having a conversation with my buddy about this because and we were talking about it, like instant gratification is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
And if you don't get it within the first week or two, like something's wrong and it's done. I'm over. Where just the way the world is so fast. If you can just slow that down and then take your time, like everybody, if you can put the work in and put the time in, you're gonna mow over half the people that you're trying
Yes.
to, you're trying to get ahead of. In my opinion, like it's such a fast paced world that if you're living in it, it's gonna eat you up,
Hmm.
and you're just gonna go in a circle. And but you just got to slow it down and get outside of the box and almost be like an overview
Yeah.
in a sense, right?
And just let it take time,
Yeah, yeah. Like even for me, like I struggle. I'm not a very good social media guy. I do have an account for my business, like a personal one, but like for the most part, I try not to go on, even though it is a communication tool.
Yeah.
But it leads to rabbit hole scrolling to
TikTok,
searching.
man.
Yeah,
TikTok is
it
nuts, man.
it really is. So, I try to eliminate that as much as I can, but it's tough in this day and age to
Yeah.
because it's a communication tool. How did we set up the
Communication.
the podcast
Right.
today, right?
It might like it's such a good, like, to be connected to the world is so powerful.
It
So
is.
you need it as a business.
Yeah.
But it's like I, you also don't want it,
Yeah, it's super
but you need
consuming
it.
too. Yeah,
So
100%.
like the goal is to get to a position where like you can step back from that too, right? Um oh, we're just over an hour here.
Oh, really? Hey,
Yeah,
nice.
man.
Just
It's
going on.
yeah, it's good.
Love it.
There's one more thing that you brought up that I wanted to touch on. The owner Roger King.
Yes.
Have you met him?
I have. Yeah, a few
Okay,
times. A few times.
that's wicked.
And yeah, same thing. Just a regular guy.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a great guy. Very knowledgeable. Got a lot of respect for him for sure. And the things he's done has
Mm-hmm.
been astonishing. He he originally started Supplement King selling supplements out of his vehicle.
Heck yeah.
So like the respect there, like
Yeah,
so it's really good. And it's really nice to see that he's just an everyday guy you could have a beer with, right?
yeah.
So
Is there something he's ever said or done that has just like stood out to you, or
the biggest thing was just originally that initial meet.
right?
That whole thing with, hey, I'm just put my kids, but I'll give you a call. And it's like, and like, you're the CEO, like
Mm.
the big man, and like it's Friday night. Like
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
you're gonna give some random people who literally just got your number, or like, contacted you out of the blue. The fact that you're gonna do that, it speaks miles to me because like, a lot of people wouldn't. They're like, oh, like I'll call Monday, it's work hours.
Mm.
So like right there, like that was the personability that I needed in security, where I'm like, this guy's the guy I want to go with for sure. And because that speaks a lot to me
That's awesome.
for sure. So I always try to keep my phone available for
Mm-hmm.
everyone, and live by that same philosophy, especially if it had that much of an impact for me. So
I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna call you at 2 in the morning,
yeah,
4 in
there,
the
there you go. uh,
morning.
right on. But no, I
Well,
really appreciate everything. Honestly, it's been a blast, Cole, and first time ever. So hope I didn't butcher it too bad, but
man, this is awesome.
but
It was like it was cool. It was cool to hear your story because I never heard your story before.
mhm.
I thought, man, I really think you need to share your story because you have a powerful story, man. Because of how you're just a small, not just, but like you're a small town guy
Yeah,
that a lot of people could relate to. Um, who just acted on the phone call you got.
Yeah.
How many people have gotten a phone call and they just like laughed about it or shrugged it off and hung up, you know?
Yeah.
But like you answered it and then you acted on it and now
Oh, like
you're
2
doing
days later,
incredible
I
things, man.
gave my notice.
Yeah,
It's a
man.
funny
That's
thing.
so powerful.
Yeah.
That's such a cool story and
Yeah.
such a relatable one. I think that's where the power comes in, is
Right.
because how many times I hear people say, how come I don't get opportunities? How come I don't?
Like,
But like
catch that break.
you could have laughed that off
Yeah.
as like a stupid idea from my dad and then been walking around saying, how come I never get opportunities?
100%. Yeah.
You
No,
know?
no.
That's where I think like you should be super proud of yourself, man, because
I really
you
appreciate that.
like to have that awareness and to take that risk and be brave, you know? That's huge, man. That's cool.
I really appreciate that, man. Yeah. And like you say, got a lot to learn. And the biggest thing is just keeping an open mind, right?
Yes.
So it's still feels like we just started, but hey, that might be best part then.
Yes, sir.
But no, I really appreciate everything.
Cool, man.
Hey,
Okay, well,
awesome.
let's end it there.
Hey.